NBA 2K18 Rebuild Stories number 2. Yes, we are coming back to this, so for those of you who enjoy it very much, thank you. Add a like if you want to see more. And the previous season will be in the description, so if you haven't seen the this is season 2. If you haven't seen season 1, click the link in the description. So, from season 1, we didn't risk trying for LeBron James, and instead we re-signed Pope, and obviously we got our main man Paul George in the off-season. This allowed us to keep Dedmon, but because we went for Paul George, this means we lost Lopez regardless. So Dedmon is now going to become the starting center while Zubac is the backup. We're also looking with the cap room that we have to find a backup point guard improvement. I looked at Seth Curry first, but he's too expensive. So in the end, Lance Stephenson was the only average talent we could afford at about $3 million a year. His defense and playmaking actually do fit the identity of our team. I know he's a headache, but he's just backup point guard for Lonzo, so it's not going to hurt too much, so I signed him for season 2. PG-13 gives us a third two-way playmaker on the team, so this is a huge signing alongside Lonzo Ball and Nance. He's also a two-way playmaker. And like I said earlier, Dedmon and Zubac is now our center rotation from starting to backup, so this is really risky, but I don't have a choice because I got capped out and I used the last money to sign Stevenson. So let me know, was that a bad idea? And Lance also has a very interesting jersey number choice, as you can see there. So not a very good start, Lance. He is our backup PG now, so we'll see what happens. But cool number, Lance. And Lonzo, in the training camp, we made Lonzo become an elite spot-up shooter by giving him the perimeter shooting camp. So you can see his shooting ratings are very high now, elite level. And Naz, we increased his combo guard camp because from season 1, if you remember, his turnover rate was high even though he played great. So we're going to improve his handling. And we're going to give Ingram a untapped potential camp. So hopefully he will take a leap this year because he is very important. He is the final piece that we can keep on to. Paul George, I have decided, will replace Brook Lopez's scoring role. He is going to become the first scoring option now, alongside Nance and Clarkson as 2 and 3. And we're going to change Ball's game into tendency. You guys know I like to do this. So I'm going to change him to more spot up in transition to help space the court for Paul George. And we no longer have a stretch 5 in Brook Lopez. Now we have Dedmon, so I'm going to lead, Ball to space out more to stretch the floor for everybody. And Paul George will no longer be allowed to shoot mid-ranges anymore coming out of pick and rolls or in spot-up situations. I'm also going to lower his pick and roll duties. It will be decreased substantially. This is because I want to turn him into a catch and drive hard kind of attacker via spot up. He's still going to spot up, but he's not going to shoot them. He's going to catch and he's going to go. This is going to complement him well with the way Lonzo plays because I want Paul George to feast off of Lonzo Ball's driving kicks. And while Paul George is driving, I want Lonzo Ball spacing out to give Paul George more space to drive. So the 5-man bench rotation is going to be Stevenson, Clarkson, Ingram, Collins, and Zubac. This is an improvement over last season because we got now Ingram moving to the bench. So hopefully him and Clarkson will do well there. And the starters are all same with the addition of Paul George, obviously. So we got Ball, Cole, Pope, Paul George, Nance Jr., and Dedmon. We do have the all-switch starters going with through 1 through 4 just like last season. I do feel starting Dedmon is extremely risky, but it's either between him and Zubac, so I don't really have a choice. We still have Jaron Collins, the rookie, playing a little bit of center, but we'll see how Dedmon does. So we begin the season with a 30-day simulation, and we did amazingly well. We are 11-4 now, looking at the 3rd seed of the West in season 2. We officially have the #1 defense, and by a 4-point margin. We give up an average 98.7 points per 100 possessions. That's crazy. Also, our offense is no longer bottom 5 all year like last season. With the addition of Paul George and Lance Stephenson, we have now an offense, a top 10 offense with a #1 defense. So we're a legit team. And PG-13 is proving himself to be the perfect fit, sitting at 25.7 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steals, very little turnovers. Lonzo, as you can see, has made a huge leap. He's now 17.4, 10.9, 11 assists, 4.4 rebounds, 2 steals. And Pope, Clarkson, and Nance are also doing their job. We have 5 people averaging double figures. That's sexy right there. Dedmon is proving our worries true. He is struggling on the offensive end quite a lot with low field goal percentage, and he's only averaging about 9 rebounds, 1 block, so I can't do much. It's not his. So I decided to adjust. I decided to limit Dedmon's minute by 7 and give the rest to Collins. So Collins is going to play 28 minutes a game now. Lance, surprisingly, even at 10 minutes a game, is turning out to be a good fit. I changed his jersey number to 4 because, God no, he's not wearing 24. So he's wearing 4 at 10 minutes a game. I decided to do another 30-day sim. So 1 more month after 11 and 4. And we stayed pretty consistent, as you can see. We ended up going 23 and 9, and we're now the #1 seed. And I decided to see how we do against the Jazz because they're a top 3 seed and also a top elite defensive team. So this is actually #1 seed versus #2 seed at the beginning of the season. And from this game, I realized we are for real because we did great on offense at 118. We also held them under 100. Look at the stats of everyone there. Paul and George are now fitting together. Nance is doing great. Clarkson and Pope also doing good. I decided to sim to the trade deadline because of that. And I don't think I would make too many crazy trades because we're still in the first seed at 37 and 13. So at this point, I decided to re-sign many of the key role players for the future. So I re-signed Clarkson at about $18.5 million a year. I re-signed Nance to about $18.5 again, average a year to over 4 years. Clarkson was for 4 years. And going in, I realized Dedmon and Enes are going to become unrestricted free agents. And I don't want to hang on to them. So I am going to test the trade market for Dedmon and Enes and see what I can find. And remember, I have a 100 trade negotiating difficulty, so the trades I get are going to be very not that good. It's going to be hard. But surprisingly, I found a good trade here. This is a solid trade. We can trade Dedmon, a first round pick, and Enes for Dellavedova and Drew Repko. And remember, we're first seed, so our first round pick is pretty much worthless. It's a 30th pick. So I want to ask you guys, would you have taken this deal, giving up Dedmon and Enes and a draft pick for Drew Repko and Dellavedova? I took it. So this means Lance has got to go because I trust Delhi a lot. I like the way Delhi fits into my system. And Jerebko was a stretch. So we're going to get rid of Lance for big, as great as he played. So surprisingly to me, we actually got some decent big man deals from Lance, as you can see here. Because Lance ended up playing pretty well, so he became a 1.5 star. I focus on McGee and McAdoo here. For 2 second-round picks, I don't mind the picks. It's just I don't trust McGee enough. In the end, I ended up dealing with the Hawks for Embry, who is a nice young piece, and also Muscala, because it's hard to say no to a decent stretch 5. I don't see a lot I can do for Embry because of Ingram, but Muscala, I decided to start him as our stretch 5 with limited minutes. So I'm going to keep Jaren Collins' minutes very high, our second-year player, who is big for us, power forward and center. I decided to give Delhi a lot of minutes because, as you can see, I have lowered the starter minutes because I want to rest them come playoff time. So I've increased Delhi's minutes to a lot to rest everybody else. And because of the fact that we're not going to play Muscala a lot, he's just like a token stretch 5 for that start. So I'm going to increase the money for Collins, the minutes for Collins and Zubac, so they'll play C. And Muscala will now take the old Brook Lopez role, and he will spread the floor. So I'm going to change his tendency to a lot of spot up, no post up, so he'll stretch the floor for George and Ball. And I decided I'm not going to make any more trades. I have re-signed the young guys I wanted to. So I'm going to sim until the playoffs and see what happens to the squad. We ended up first seed in the West, sitting at 56 and 26, beating up the Warriors. Paul George for us for the awards this season. Paul George became third team All NBA, even with limited minutes. So he's a great piece. Nance also made second team All Defense instead of first team All Defense, so that's not as good as last year, but he's rating overall 81 now, so that's good. I have also increased their minutes back with the playoff rotation, as you can see. Ball and George are going to play heavy minutes along with Nance, 36 a game. Muscala, not so much. Daly's going to be substantially decreased. Clarkson's going to play a lot. Ingram's also going to be decreased because of the heavy minutes George and Pope play. In the first round, we're facing the Timberwolves. We came out doing pretty good, but unfortunately, we were down 3-2, and I hate this. This happens to me a lot in 2K. I don't know why. Whenever I'm a first seed, I always have to face the 8th seed in a Game 7 situation. So we go into the Simcast, and if we lose this season, it's going to be a disaster. Unfortunately, we have home court advantage. We ended up blowing them out from the first quarter on. They did a mini comeback in the second, but we closed it up in the fourth. Thank God for home court advantage. The T-Wolves took us to 7 games. That's not a good sign. Something is not up. Something is not right. Paul George played great. Nance was good. Ball was decent. Muscala surprisingly did very good in limited minutes stretching of the floor. So because of this 7-game series, I was a little bit nervous about the system, so I decided to double down on Muscala's shooting and give him extra minutes. I decided to increase his playing time by 80%. So pretty much Zubac is not playing anymore. I decreased Collins' minutes by a little bit. I am going to bet on Muscala's ability to stretch the floor to take us deeper into the playoffs. Hopefully we won't get into another Game 7. Against the Rockets, we were up 3-1. And we freaking blew a 3-1 lead. And ended up going to Game 7 again in the second round. So because it's Game 7, I decided to simcast it. This is another Game 7. Thank God again, home field advantage. This game was close. Like, the Rockets was leading after the first quarter. We did really, really bad the first quarter. Second quarter also didn't do very good. This is a struggle. Even with home court advantage, we're not doing well. Third quarter, we have a mini lead, but it's still not really there. This game is close as heck. It's 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. But we blew them out by the end of the third quarter, I'm sorry. And they could not come back. Look at that third quarter, 46-25. Paul George dominated, 47, 10, and 5. He has 47 points in the Game 7 closeout game at home in LA. That's crazy. Ball got a little bit cold, but Nance, as you can see again, very solid, 14, 11, and 6. Collins is doing good. Muscala playing a lot, stretching the floor, 7 and 7. But Ball did have 18 assists, so that kind of did make up for the poor shooting. 0 for 4, 1 of 6. Looked like a Beverly game there. Is Beverly on the Rockets again? Ha. But he did pass great. In the Austin Conference Finals, we're facing the OKC Thunder. And it did. I was very worried about this, but actually, we found our stride. We were able to sweep the OKC Thunder. So we made it through the very tough West. I wasn't too much worried about the East. I said in the first game, I decided to take a look who's on the Wizards. And as you can see, our guys are crazy. We have 4 players in 20-plus points here. Ball, George, Nance, Clarkson. 4 guys. Over 40 points. Over 20 points. That's the sign of a great system. So Muscala is fitting well. He's not doing great, but him playing a lot is helping everybody else. We scored almost 130 and we held the enemy team lower than 100. So that's crazy offensive pace with crazy defense. That's the sign of a sweet, sweet, perfect system. And did you see all the multiple stats that those guys had 7 and 9, 7 and 9? We were able to go up 3-0. So I decided to go to Game 4 and do a simcast, and we will go into the game in the fourth quarter to close it out and win our championship. You see everybody's on the floor. We got Collins, we got Ball, we got Clarkson, we got Paul George, everybody's looking. We got Nance. So this is the closeout unit that we use with Clarkson and Collins at the end. 5-4, Lonzo Ball ISO on John Wall. Why not? 3-2-1. Has he move? Oh, and he makes it. And we win the championship with the Lakers in Season 2. So this is actually pretty crazy. By my standards, this turned out really well. I don't often win a lot of these rebuilds, actually, because you guys know I increased the simulated difficulty. Let's go, Paul and Paul. Woo! And I also have 100 trade negotiation difficulty. So I never win any trades. I never do too well in trades like the other rebuilds where it's just stupid trades like other people do. So this is actually this is rare. I don't win championships in Season 2. This mostly goes out to the fact that Ball turned out to be a transcendent star, at least in my rebuild. And we were able to pick up another transcendent star in Paul George in free agency. The role players are great. We have very good role players, but this is crazy. So there it is. Lonzo Ball with the trophy alongside Paul George, Nance, Collins, Zubac, Kuzma, Clarkson, Deli and Muscala, great addition. I was surprised that Ball actually won Finals MVP, but that's a heck of an image right there. That's crazy. So Ball did win the MVP, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a block. I don't even know how. I have never had anyone average this many steals in any of the rebuilds I do. But we did finish the playoffs very rough in the first 2 rounds in 2 Game 7. Closed it out in the Western Conference Finals and Finals, though. So it looks like Timberwolves are going to be a problem down the line. And as you can see, these are their playoff averages. Like, look at, like, the rebounds and the assists. Look at Nance, Ball, and George. 8 rebounds, 6 assists for Nance, 6 rebounds, 10 assists for Ball, and 6 rebounds, 5 assists for Paul George. That's crazy. So if you guys enjoyed this series, add me a like. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you would have done anything different. I did make quite a few risky choices in these 2 seasons that played out. I don't think like they would play out a lot. So let me know which teams you guys want to see next. One day we'll return to this Lakers team though, to see if they can try to repeat. But let me know what you think of all the decisions I made in the 2 season. Like I said, I made some crazy choices. I made some risky choices. Luckily for me, all of them paid off positively. I wouldn't say all of them paid off great. Like Ingram really struggled in both seasons. I haven't really found a role for him yet. So if you guys want me to return to this franchise or this rebuild down the line, I would. We still have a center problem, starting center problem. But like for the decisions I made, it turned out decent. I was very surprised. So let me know how you feel about every choice I made. I would love to hear you guys' feedback on what you would have done differently or what you would have done in general to, you know, deal with these Lakers. So as always, fans are coming by. I'll see all of you next time.